Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the University of Manchester Middle East Centre's MBA panel discussion. We appreciate you all being here. Apologies, I'm by myself, I am vaccinated, and I'm very, very far from you all, so I can actually do this. We really thank you all for being here this evening, obviously, and all of those of you online, because obviously this is a hybrid session, so we really appreciate those of you who've actually taken the time to come by this evening as well, physically. Obviously, we'll hear very shortly from our students, alumni, and some from some of the Middle East Centre team as well about the MBA and their experience on the journey and everything around the MBA and the University of Manchester here in the region. But just to start off, I know many of you may not be familiar with the University of Manchester, with the Middle East Centre, with the MBA as well. So I'm just going to take about 5 minutes to quickly introduce to you the university, very quickly the MBA as well, and then I'll invite my colleague Josen, who will be the moderator for this session, to actually bring all the panelists in the room in just a couple of minutes' time. So to start off with the University of Manchester, obviously one of the largest cities in the UK, very renowned for its sort of vibrant cultural scene. Many of you must know some of the famous musicians and artists that come from Manchester. So you may know the band Oasis, you may know Benedict Cumberbatch, who's actually Doctor Strange in the Avengers. So he's actually an alumnus of the University of Manchester as well, for those of you who don't know. So a lot of things happen at the university and in Manchester itself. So it's very renowned for its sports, so its sports team. So obviously Manchester United, Manchester City, but it's also a place of great culture where a lot of sort of development happens as well. So there's a lot of entrepreneurial spirit, a lot of development that happens there. So as you can see on the screen, it is the place where the first atom was discovered, and it's actually Ernest Rutherford who discovered the atom, and he actually split it as well, and that launched the field of nuclear physics. So he was extremely influential in the field of nuclear physics, and as well as that, he won a Nobel Prize for that discovery, but it's also the place where the first computer was built. So as you can imagine, it's extremely important with the way things are in today's society. So a lot of things have happened in Manchester and through the University of Manchester as well. So very briefly about the university itself. So it was established back in 1824, so it's nearly 200 years old in just a couple of years now. Obviously, we're one of the top business schools worldwide. So we've just invested in a brand new business school. It's Lord Alliance who actually invested his hard-earned money in the business school. So it's now called Alliance Manchester Business School. In terms of the university itself, we have 25 Nobel Prize winners. So we are the university, the 23rd university with the most number of Nobel Prize winners as well, which is actually quite significant if you put that into perspective. In terms of the business school, again, and the MBA, we're now ranked 4th in the UK, 10th in Europe, and 30th worldwide, as per the latest Financial Times Global MBA ranking of 2021. In addition to that, we're a triple accredited program. So we're accredited by AMBA, the Association of MBAs, by EQUIS, which is the European accreditation body, and by AACSB, which is the North American, the US accreditation body as well. And just to let you know, less than 1% of all MBA programs worldwide are actually triple accredited. So that's extremely important if you're considering an MBA of top quality. And getting now to the Middle East Centre and what we've been doing for the past 15 years we've been here. So the university was set up back in 2006 by the founding director, Randa Basiso, who's actually with us in the crowd this evening. For those of you who'd like to meet her later on, I'm sure she'll be delighted to. We're actually part of quite a large network of global centres. So if you can look on the screen, we've obviously got the main campus centre in Manchester, which is where all the faculty, the research is based. We also have obviously the centre in Dubai, which covers the entire Middle East. So it does cover, for those of you in Kuwait, in Saudi Arabia, in Qatar, in Oman, it does cover the entire region as well as the UAE. And we also have 3 centres in Southeast Asia, with Shanghai, Hong Kong, Singapore, and a center in Sao Paulo in Brazil. So in terms of what we have done in the programs that are on offer currently, so we've graduated over 1,800 students from this very MBA program across the years, 100 plus nationalities on the programs as well. Over 2,800 students have come through the doors of the University of Manchester Middle East Centre. And currently, these are the 6 programs that we currently offer. So we've got the Manchester Global Part-time MBA, we've got the Kelly Manchester Global Part-time MBA, the Executive Global MBA as well. And we've then got more specialist programs such as the Part-time Masters in Real Estate, the Part-time Masters in Educational Leadership and Practice, and the Part-time Masters in Financial Management. So as you can see, here in the region, in the Middle East specifically, we only offer part-time blended learning master's level programs. So we really specialize in these programs designed for working professionals. So we don't do any sort of undergraduate or doctorate level programs here in the region. All that would have to be done back in the UK. And very briefly, because this is the topic today, and because we are going to be talking about the MBA program, I just thought I'd break it down for all of you, for those who aren't really familiar with how we deliver the MBA, how it's structured. I just thought I'd give you a quick 2-minute overview so that you can then relate to what is going to be talked about in just a couple of minutes by the team here and by the panelists who are going to be here very shortly. So, and this is the way we deliver the program. So it's a 2-year, the Manchester Global Part-time MBA is a 2-year, 24-month program delivered in a blended learning format, which means that you have quite a significant online component, as well as a face-to-face component as well to come and complement that. So in terms of the online, you'll have access to a virtual campus, which is called Blackboard. That's where you'll find access to all the reading material, your electronic books. That's where the online tutorials will take place as well. That's where you'll have access to the online library, which is actually one of the largest online libraries in the world. And so you'll have a lot of material and content readily available to you 24/7 online, no matter where you are. In terms of the face-to-face, this is illustrated just behind me on the screen here. So if you can see the structure, and we actually run face-to-face through what we call workshops, residential workshops. Typically, they would last between 4 to 6 consecutive days, and they are full days of studying, so you would have to take some time off. A usual day would last from 9 to 5, so it is like a typical working day. The reason behind it is because we actually fly the professors to the UAE to deliver the workshop component of the program, and as well as that, all the students across the region. So those of you, again, in Saudi Arabia, in Kuwait, in Qatar, in Oman, you would all have to travel to the UAE to attend these mandatory workshops. Obviously, at the moment, taking into account the COVID situation, we are running hybrid workshops. So for those of you who can travel to the UAE and who are already here in the UAE, you can actually attend your workshops here physically. We usually do this in this environment in Jumeirah Emirates Towers, where we would put you in the room so that you can still get the interaction with the other students, and we would generally broadcast the professors into the room because they can't travel because of the restrictions in the UK, but we're hoping that because of the changes that have been happening with regards to regulations, travel regulations in the UK, they will be able to come very shortly. So for those of you considering January 2022, you may very well see our professors here in the region very soon. In terms of the way we structure it, so it's 3 times a year for these workshops. So as you can see here, this is split into 2 years. You've got the first year here, and the second year is just here. So in the first year, you'll have 3 workshops. For those of you who are considering January, it's a 4-day workshop in January, a 7-day workshop, which will be in end of March, beginning of April, and then you'll have a 7-day workshop in September, October as well. They may overlap. And in the second year, it will be very similar. So 4 days in January, 6 days in March, April, 3 days in September, October. So for these months, you would have to take a little bit of time off, because even if you're not traveling to the UAE to attend the workshop physically, you'd have to attend them from wherever you are online for an entire day as well. So do keep that in mind. You will have to take some time off to actually attend these particular workshops. You'll have, for some of them, it does include a virtual day. So for the 7 days of workshop here and here, there's actually 6 days of face-to-face and 1 full day of virtual as well. So this includes 6 days of face-to-face in the first year and 2 days virtual, 13 days of face-to-face in the second year. So it's nearly 30 days of studying physically during the course of the MBA if you do take this up. Very importantly, in the first year, it's all about looking at the business from a holistic point of view. And so it's all about really getting to know all the different business segments, because many of you will be in different industries, different fields as well. So you're really looking at the business from a holistic point of view, leading and managing in a global environment, which runs for an entire year, strategy and competition, operationalizing and communicating value, which is basically operations and marketing, and business accounting and finance as well, which will be in the first year. The second year is more about tailoring the program towards what you're interested in and actually applying the knowledge within your own professional environment. So that's very important for us. We do want you to implement the knowledge, because that's the best way of remembering it, and it's the best way of actually having an impact on your own career and your own work. So very importantly, in your second year, you'll have to select 3 electives out of a list of about 24. They cover all the different fields, from investment to finance to operations to entrepreneurship, big data analytics. They're quite more specific, but they will cover the topics of operations, marketing, finance, etc. So you'll have to select 3 of these, and then you'll have the live business project, which is where you'll implement all the knowledge as well. So very similar to a consultancy project or a startup project as well, for those of you starting up your own ventures, whereby it's a group of about 4 students looking at business challenges and processes that you'd like to improve. You can use your own business as the source of a case study as well. If you'd like to implement the outcomes at the end of the MBA, that is possible as well. So I hope that this gave you a little bit of an idea. Just to let you know as well, before you even start the program, we have what is called the MBA preparation course. Now, this is very, very important for a very valid reason. Many of you, considering the MBA, haven't been studying for a very, very long time. So it's very important that you get back up to speed, that you get used to studying as well, used to submitting assignments. So what we do is about 2 months before the start of the program, so for January, about beginning of November, you'll have access to what we call the MBA preparation course, which will teach you how to go through the learning, which will teach you how to go through assignments again. And so it's really important to get acquainted with all of that before you actually start your MBA journey as well. So please do take into account that if you want to join the MBA, best join early, just so that you feel nice and comfortable before you actually start your MBA in January officially. So that's the MBA in a nutshell. That's what is going to be discussed today by our panelists, the experience that they have had on it, and they'll share some of their best tips and what they've experienced. And I'll just invite my colleague, Joseph, to take this forward as the moderator for the MBA panel discussion. And I'm sure that he'll be able to answer any of your questions at the end as well with some of the students if need be. So thank you very much, Joseph. Over to you.
Thank you, William.
Thank you.
And thank you for having us tonight. I know it's been a busy day, but we welcome you here today in Jumeirah Emirates Towers Hotel. You see, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, we have a common goal. And that common goal is to answer this question. So for those of you who are seeking for the same answer, you came to the right place. We're going to try to help you out to provide the answers you're looking for. Same thing with all the guests tuning in right now. So I understand that this is going to be a hard decision to make in some aspects of your situation right now, but we're here to help you out. And the best way to do that is to bring along people who managed to answer this question quite some time ago. And that's the reason why we're going to be inviting them over tonight to find the answers from them. What are the best practices they have? And hopefully we get the answers we're looking for. So wherever you are at this time, you could be here in the venue with us. You could be at home, tuning in at work, as long as you're keeping safe. That's all matters the most. So welcome to the University of Manchester, how to manage your MBA journey. All right. So before I call them in, I would like to ask a favor to all of you before we begin. All right. So I want you all to give yourself a round of applause before we begin. And same goes with all our guests tuning in right now. In a count of three for two reasons, mainly. One is because you're here tonight with us and you've been keeping safe for this situation we're all facing. And second to that, for just being amazing and for just doing the best you can every day. All right, let's do that. All right, in 3, 2, 1. Let's clap your hands, everyone. Thank you. So we can invite everyone, our guest panelists for tonight. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have, of course, Remy. She's our team leader in student recruitment admission. We have Migna, head of projects in EC3 Brokers. We have James Hall Palmer, one of our MBA candidates, freelance business consultant. And we also have Hiba, of course, our careers and alumni relations.
Hello, everyone.
Joining us tonight in Saudi Arabia is Mohamed Al-Kalash, area sales manager of Cisco. Mohamed, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm here.
Very good, man. How are we doing? How are we doing, Mohamed? Mohamed.
All is amazing. Thank you for inviting me on this esteemed panel. And
You're
thank
welcome.
you for everyone from, I think, globally to attend this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohamed. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Remy, in advance, of course, Migna, James, and Hiba. Welcome and good evening to all of you. All right. Are we all good? So this is going to be an interactive session. So please don't be shy asking a question. We're going to be doing sets of questions. And one, we're going to be asking them, of course, a series of questions that could really help us out to make a decision. Now, every conclusion of the first round to round 3, please, you can raise your hand if you have any question. We can choose like 1 or 2 questions. Same goes with our friends online tuning in. Please don't hesitate to ask questions. We have Ankita here, my colleague, helping us out virtually. So if you have anything to ask, please don't hesitate to do so. All right, let's begin. Okay, good. So the very first round we're going to talk about tonight, let me just move this, is about the very first question, why we're all here. I think we need to figure out why MBA. What's the reason behind it? Why would you like to do the MBA? So I guess the first question goes to Migna. Let's just do the graduation. We'll graduate first, okay? So Migna, the very good question here about is why did you decide to do your global MBA? What's the reason behind it?
Okay. So for me, the main aim when I was looking at doing the MBA was to, at that time, I was doing a more operational role in my job, and I wanted to move into a more strategic role. And I kept looking at the people around me, and yes, they had MBAs or they had some sort of qualifications. I was looking at something that added value to my career, not only from like a skill set perspective, also, of course, when you do an MBA, it adds an academic value to you. It's a globally recognized university. So that's what I also wanted to, achieve. And that's what it helped me to do, because when I completed my MBA, I noticed quite a big change in myself from a personality point of view. And I was able to convince my management that I'm ready now, to take up a more senior role. I was able to be more confident when I was attending presentations and things like that. So I think for me, the main aim to do the MBA was achieved when I took it up.
That's great. We're going to talk more about the change after that. But James, is it the same thing?
No, for me, maybe a little bit different. So I had been working in IT for a while. I'd started off as a business analyst and worked my way up to become an IT director, which was great. But then I started talking to the C-level suite, and although I was doing a great job, I also couldn't speak all of their language, and I didn't always explain things in the language that they wanted. I then went and did a COO position at a startup, and I'm sure I did a great job. We always are. But again, there were things which I just didn't know, and I hadn't taken the time to go and study. So for me, the MBA was a perfect way to round out my capabilities, which is why I kind of chose that.
Okay, that's great. Mohamed, I'm sure you can hear us clearly here. May I ask you the same question? Why did you decide to do the MBA? Mohamed?
Yes, I'm here. I'm always telling everyone that is asking me after I graduated that why you decided to start your MBA studies. This is my #1 advice usually, that always consider your reason for studying a master's. First of all, you must be passionate about the subject itself. Now, when I decided to start, to understand the whole subject about business administration, because I'm coming kind of a technical background, because my bachelor was in computer networking systems. But now I decided to understand more into business, and I want to make sure that I understand the whole things, and especially in marketing. That was my direction, and that was my driver to start the MBA. And luckily that I found Jason, that he convinced me with the University of Manchester. I feel that I'm lucky that I found this program, because it was so adaptive to our busy schedule and busy day. And I'm proud now talking to you guys, trying to convince you to join this program.
Just follow up on that. Was the timing important in your decision? Was there like, okay, you know what, I'm ready now, I can start now? Or was it, you know what, let me think about it, let me do 2 years from now or 5 years from now? Was the timing important for you, Mohammed, when you're choosing to do the MBA?
Definitely, time management is always a key. That when you decided to start, I would say there is no perfect timing. It's just happened when you hook up yourself within the program itself. And the most beautiful part of the program, that it starts slowly, then till you get used to it, and then it takes you to the journey. So they don't shock you with a lot of homeworks, they don't shock you with a lot of, or swamp you with a lot of prerequisites that you need to do, which is honestly, it's perfect for me, at least, because I'm doing sales now, and sales that you're a very busy schedule, and you're always pressured with targets and a lot of stuff. However, when you have some passion that you're gonna make the right time for it, and you will make sure that you are giving it the right attention. So I would say it's a two-way direction, that I'm mentally prepared that I want to start an MBA. And secondly, that the program itself, it's so perfect for, I would say, for people that in very high pressure environment.
Thank you, Mohammed. James, is it true that there's no perfect timing? I mean,
with reflection, this is how I see an MBA. Yeah? It's basically like a tree. There are 2 good times to plant a tree for me. 10 years ago, will you plant it today? And with hindsight, I would say I wish I'd taken my MBA 10 years ago. But if you're going to do it, you do it now. You don't postpone it, because you'll get the benefit sooner, and you'll move forward quicker. So it's like planting a tree.
All right, makes sense. How about you, Meghna?
For me, timing was key, because just doing an MBA for me was always on my agenda. Even after, I thought I should have done it right after my master's, and before you get into the work life. But having now start doing it after starting work, I think it's added more value, because when I started working, I didn't want to take up a course that stopped my career, because there are many courses that you need to take a break, or it requires so much of an effort that you need to just stay at the same level. For me, the main time I wanted to do the MBA was when it added value to my ongoing career progression. And I also, being a woman, wanted to do it, before you start a family, before you have kids, because obviously once you start a family, you have more responsibilities. So for me, that was the key. So I knew okay, in 5 years, this is where I want to be. I'm going to have a family, so let's get this done with. And I went with it.
So single ladies, MBA first before. Think about that if you're choosing it. Now, Hiba, I mean, you've speaking to a lot of people before. You've supported students as well. You have a careers relations. So, in your opinion, in terms of their decision and why doing the MBA, what are the normal things the reason why you want to do it?
Well, there are so many folds. So I will speak about why do you want to do an MBA from a careers perspective, since I am a career coach. I think the first thing that you need to do is check with yourself. Where are you now in your career? Where do you want to go? And how do you want to do it? If the MBA fits within your career goals, then definitely you should check that in. Now, why an MBA? People generally do an MBA because they want to progress in their careers. They want to either change role, function, they want to move into more senior positions, or they want to change industry altogether. Others do it because they want to have that international network, the exposure. And here comes the role of a good MBA. and why you should shop for the best MBA in terms of network and exposure and brand. Others do an MBA because they want to start up their own business. They want to become entrepreneurs, they want to venture into new ideas, and they want to start up their own things. Others, they want to do it for the challenge, for traveling to other centers. Our MBA provides you with an opportunity to travel to our international centers in Shanghai, Hong Kong, Brazil, Manchester, China. So you have that opportunity to expand your network. Doing an MBA is a challenge. The one fold is progressing your career. The other fold would be the learning and the knowledge. You will be learning from top professors who are experts in their field. So you will be combining the knowledge, the business concepts, and the learning, in addition to the experiences, to the exposure, to the network that you will face throughout the MBA journey. And that's why most people choose to do an MBA. Now, if you want to do an MBA, one of the important things to really consider is doing the best MBA that would work for you. And that is look at the accreditation, look at the brand, look at the reputation, look at the network. So if you're trying to do an MBA, and I'm talking about this really sincerely today, because we have others that have done MBA with different business schools. They've come again, they've done the Manchester MBA or any other MBA, which is of same value. So look at the brand, look at the value, look what brings to you and how it's going to work with you, how it's going to progress your career, how it's going to expand your network, how it's going to add value to you as an individual, to your careers and to your corporates in general.
All right. Hiba mentioned about the right MBA. Well, you said that, but I want to ask you, Meghna, was there any criteria you've set in your mind that, you know what, this will be the criteria in choosing the right university for me?
For me, main was the global recognition and the ranking. That was the first most important criteria. Second was I wanted something that was locally present. Being here in Dubai, you have a lot of universities that you have access to. But at the same time, I wanted a course that didn't require extensive travel, didn't have too much of virtual workshops. I wanted to have that in-person feeling. Because for me, personally, I've not really been to university. I started working at a very young age. So I wanted to have that in-person experience. And then lastly, let's say the last criteria that I had was being a working professional. I didn't want to give every evening to an MBA, or I didn't want every Friday, every Saturday you attend a full day of course. I wanted something where it was well spaced out. So these were the three criteria that I was looking at, and then the Manchester MBA did fit in well with what I wanted to do.
Perfect. And as William mentioned to you all earlier, the format of the program is to a blended format, wherein you have a time to really study and work and focus on your life all at the same time. Mm-hmm. This could be the opportunity for everyone to do it, because you can really manage your time accordingly. Thank you for that, Meghna. James?
Yeah, similar criteria. I'd say maybe one thing which was a little bit different for me was having worked a little bit longer, I wanted to have probably an international environment which was not quite as quick as a full-time MBA, because I did the accelerated MBA, the global accelerated MBA. So they gave me some credit for my work experience, which was brilliant, which meant that I didn't quite have to study everything, but also I was in with people who had similar experience within the business. So typically those people had done a management position for about 10 years. So it made the whole work a lot easier and was a lot quicker. And it was a really enjoyable process, I have to admit as well.
All right, thank you. Mohamed, I have the same question for you. Was there any criteria that you have set when you're choosing university?
Yes, definitely. I wanted to make sure that the program can adapt my my business my business schedule, basically, because we have a lot of deadlines and meetings that we do per the day. So I don't want something that it's killing my my work-life balance, basically. So when you need to put some stuff in your mind before you start, and you need to have the ready mindset to make sure that you need to give away some time for the study. This is for sure. Now, when you practice the time management properly, and between your work, your family, and your study, I think that you're gonna enjoy it. Otherwise, you're gonna face a lot of challenges. Now, getting back to your point, Jason, that the challenges basically it comes toward if you keep things delaying in your study, then you're gonna find there is a heavy luggage, you know, in your shoulders, because you're gonna keep delaying. All of a sudden, that you're gonna find everything in front of you. You're gonna find a lot of homework, a lot of research, a lot of study. The piece of advice that I would give to the audience today, that MBA, it's not something you do it at night for tomorrow, you know. It's something that you need to do it every day, slowly, maturely. You need to make it, you need to practice this habit that you are understanding and enjoying it. Now, the program itself, that there is no exams, there is no hard stop in the program, which is perfect, that it keeps going with you around the clock, which it gives you the space that you can shuffle things around. For me, I studied very hard during weekends. I studied a little bit during weekdays, but I was enjoying it because I'm reading it and I'm enjoying it. And the best thing that I found, that I'm getting it into my practical life. This is basically what I found. Maybe there is something that it's never been mentioned before, and I didn't hear it, but I found that it's very good to mention it. From financial point of view, make sure that you have foreseen your payments and you don't be all of a sudden that you need to pay some amount and you are not prepared financially, because it will add some pressure on you, and it might stop you from studying before you're not keeping your financial ahead of your payments. This is basically maybe part of the challenges that I found. Maybe I faced it or a part of the cohort, but I want to share the experience with the team.
Thank you, Mona. And point taken. Don't delay, start now. That's what Mona is saying to us, okay, for the MBA program.
100%.
Sorry, Mona?
100%, yes.
100%.
I second that.
Thank you. Now, Remy, I want to ask you, since you're heading the recruitment admission team, I want to know, and if you could share it to us, most memorable application you have reviewed.
Wow. I have loads of applications, stories as well, because part of the applications that you'll have to write an essay, a 500 or 300 word essay about why an MBA is important for you. And I always spend time on reading those essays, because I always correlate this to the counseling I had with them in the beginning. So we're a team of 6 program counselors, and we always make sure that we understand why this MBA degree is important for them. And that applies to James. I remember about 2 years ago when we processed their application. This story really amazed me because he works in a C-level position, and he's someone who completed the entire process in one day.
Oh.
And he told me specifically, if I don't do this now, I won't be able to do this later. So it's more of a personal challenge for himself. When I did ask him, why is this important for you? Then he realized, because at the time he didn't have the answer yet. It was just one day, it just clicked on him, you know what, I really want to do this. But while he's working on his essay, that's when he realized he wanted this because he wanted to inspire his staff. He wanted everyone in the organization that he's working with to understand the value of education. And it should start from him. And that for me is one of the best MBA stories I've heard.
James, you have a follow-up on that?
What can you say? But yeah, you know, I think just if you have children as well, it's a learning journey for everyone. And I think it's very easy for you to get so into your careers that you forget to learn, and you'll become stagnant if you do that. So I can only say to you, you know, keep on learning. And this is a great way to learn. For me, it's worked out brilliant.
Perfect.
If I can just
Go
add
ahead.
something.
Eva, please.
I work with recruiters and employers, and one main thing that recruiters and employers look for is individuals who are have the learnability skill, which is your ability to keep learning and to upskill and to kind of invest in yourself. So I think, doing an MBA is one of the reasons why you want to invest in yourself. It's just like you invest in anything else, and it's a proof to your employer and to future employers that I'm capable of the relearning, upskilling myself, and being just up to date with what's happening right now. And the business knowledge and the skills, these are practical ones and case studies that are happening right now in corporates. So you will be learning new concepts and new ideas, and that you're going to apply to your work. Just like Muhannad said, he was learning and studying and applying it at the same time at his work industry. So that's something that I wanted to add.
Thank you.
Employers are really looking for individuals who invest in themselves.
Perfect. Now, we're going to be going to our next round, but please, I want to ask you if you have any questions for them on this particular topic, why MBA? Anyone from the crowd here? Have any questions? And of course, to our friends online, Ankita, if there's any questions there, we would like to accommodate.
Not so far, but yes. Now, if anyone has a question, probably you can unmute yourself. I've given you the rights. You can unmute and speak out. We can
Yes, please. Wait for 5 seconds there, anyone? There you go. Maybe we'll have more later on. Okay, let's go to round 2 of questions. And this time we'll talk about, we concluded why MBA. This time let's talk about your journey. So we have concluded what's the reason of doing their MBAs and the outcome of it. Now let's talk about when you're doing it. All right. So first question, Mohammed.
Yes.
Mohammed, how did you prepare your MBA? What's the preparation that took place before, including the support, your support advisors? When you decided to go for it, what were the preparations you did?
Okay. Now I just want to explain something. Maybe it's more theory, but it's true that most of our education systems is working basically on deductive learning. When I saw that, when I understand and I just start reading about the program, I found this kind of an inductive learning. It's amazing because you have a blended learning, as well as that you are putting all your studies into an action. So whatever you are reading, whatever you are researching, that you're gonna end up doing a workshop about it, and you're gonna do some homeworks around it. So when you practice it, you're gonna keep remembering the whole situation that you get in. You will remember the discussions, you will remember your colleagues and the whole cohort, how you found things around, which is it's really great. Now, how I prepared to the MBA, it was so, I don't know, it was so so natural. I didn't do something really specific. I remember when I went to the university in Dubai, and the team thankfully explained to me the program. I just signed up, I paid the first payment, and I get back to the hotel, and I sat that, okay, I'm an MBA now candidate. So it was like, I just, it hits me after I paid. So I said, okay, then I'm there. I need to start preparing myself. I start reading a little bit around the things that I'm good at, like marketing, sales, accounting, just basic stuff. I start reach out to the network that on LinkedIn. I start seeing who's like in the previous cohorts. I text them and I start calling them, understanding how's their program, how their schedule, and I highly advise you guys to do that. And when we start the cohort, we did exactly the same, but today I'm presenting, so it's it's different for today. So from previous cohorts, they explained and they did a very well presentation around their journey. So I highly advise you, don't be shy. You can reach out. The whole team in University of Manchester are very helpful, very supportive. They are so passionate around the journey, and they are keep an eye on each and every individual that in the cohort. So this is from my side, this is how to kickstart. Once you kickstart, I think each individual can really program himself and program his schedule based on the direction that he wants to see. And I'm sure that you are, maybe you got highlighting certain subjects that you are most interested in. You start preparing for them and immerse yourself into your subject that you want to read about. And one of the things that I really find it mesmerizing, that the cohort itself, that we are still connected, we're still having the same WhatsApp groups, and still, you know, around the globe, that I'm having friends now from Malaysia, from Shanghai, up to Canada, US, Brazil even. I'm having Japan as well, that I'm having one colleague. And I really find that it's a really cool, and you don't find, when you finish the program, you don't find that, okay, it was like a miserable 2 years, I put myself in cave, I just kept studying. I don't think this is the situation, because it's more, it's a pretty much, it's a very practical program.
We can see and feel how passionate you are, Mohammed. Thank you for that, man. Migda, was there any preparation?
Yeah, for me, I think first I secured the support of my family, my friends, and my
that's the very
colleagues.
first thing
That was the first
Okay,
thing,
there
because
you
of course they have to contribute and support you on the journey, right? If your family doesn't support you, or your colleagues at work don't support you, or your friends keep saying, oh, let's go out and let's see, why are you staying at home? That's not going to work. So for me, that was the first thing that I did.
So Migda, was the approach just like getting married? You know what, I want to do it. Is that way how you propose it?
What do you think? I want to do an MBA. So my husband was very supportive.
Okay.
So first, it was both of us. So first asked him, right, I'm going to do an MBA. What do you think? You know, and he was very, very supportive on the journey. Next was my colleagues and my management, because of course there are going to be assignments. There's travel at some point for the electives. What did they think of it? They also supported it in like very positively. Then my friends, they're the main, because you're like, I need to study, you know, so you need to let me be on the weekend. So it was a discussion. So it wasn't like I decided overnight. It took me a couple of months before I actually joined and I signed up, because I knew how much of work is required to do it. And you know, it's not, I didn't want to take the easy route out. I wanted to dedicate enough time to it. So that's the first important thing that I did. Second was to my management. They also took keen interest in the MBA. So kept them updated about what I'm learning, like, you know, every module, every time we attended courses, I went back. So also from my company there, I had an alumni who was already a part of the MBA, so reached out to him, got to understand what the coursework was, how much time he's dedicating, and to get a real picture. So that was the preparation that I did. And after that, I decided to take the lead.
Great. You can inform your manager we have a referral scheme coming in right now. If you want to take a bit of it. James, same question, please.
Well, yeah, I think just to emphasize, getting your family or your relations is hugely important to get them on board, because it's going to eat up time, and you don't want to have those discussions of why you're not taking me out for dinner this weekend. Don't go there. They have to be on board. The other thing that I used, which I found incredibly helpful, was Manchester. The MBA doesn't start on the first day that you have your lectures. Get that out your head. It's going to start about a month and a half in advance. You can get access to the Blackboard if you've made the decision in time, which is a tool which helps and supports you. And they have a whole load of material for you to help you get ready. So I come from an engineering background, an IT background, good with numbers, good with logic. When was the last time I wrote an essay, hey? Simple things like that. And they have huge courses which you can actually take. And so you can see your progress as you develop your critical thinking before you actually write your first essay. And I can only advise you, please use those resources. It will save you a lot. All the way from how do you cite work. So my daughter came home and she was already citing work. She said, oh, don't use that, use EasyBib. Just do your citations with. But if you don't know this stuff, these are things you can practically bring forward. You know, if you're a project manager, you want to bring out all of the stuff from the critical path. So do that, take advantage of those resources. There are some courses there on critical thinking as well. You know, how do you do reading? Do you read for information? Do you going to analyze? What are you going to do? And there are some huge things in there. I can only say my recommendation is spend a bit of time, look at what's there. You don't need to do all of it, but understand what you're good at and work on the gaps that you have. Yeah. So for me, it was all about writing, because I couldn't remember the last time I wrote an essay.
I want to add one thing.
Go ahead.
You know, for most of you, when you join the MBA program, you will have a dedicated student advisor who's going to be there throughout your MBA journey, who's going to help you with your questions, and going to make your trip much easier. You all had support from your supervisors. They're going to be there, so you're not alone on this journey. Once you take that leap, once you secure the okay from your family, from your management, from your friends, and from everyone, you're not going to be alone on this journey. You will have support from the university, from your network. We will connect you to students and alumni who have been through the journey, and they're going to be a great help for you.
All right. Hey, since Eva mentioned that, I want to focus on that, Meghna. How's the support system? I mean, from applying to the program and now into the program, I mean, after graduation, but let's focus on you doing the program at that time. How was the assistance from the support team?
So for me, I've been lucky, I would say. I've had the chance to work with different advisors over the time. And right at the beginning of the journey, I had a personal episode, which I think was the most challenging time in my career, in my life, not career, personal episode. And at that time, I said I should postpone it. You know, maybe this is not the right time for me to do it, or, you know, it wasn't a great time. But my advisor at that point really supported me, guided me. I was in India, so it took the effort to make the calls, talk to me, assist me. There was an assignment due, I think, at that point, you know, took the leeway from the university, whoever was the authority, to, you know, get me a little bit of more additional time. So the support that I got was, I mean, if I didn't have my advisor at that point, I don't think I would have, you know, I would have pushed it a little bit ahead for sure. So that was the key. And even today, like anytime I need to reach out, I call up any of them, and I'm there. I get the kind of, you know, even if I need to connect to somebody within the network and I'm not comfortable myself reaching out, so I'm comfortable enough to reach out to any of the staff and ask them to put me in touch. So it's been very helpful. It's more like family now.
Thank you for that. James?
Yeah, I mean, the support was good when I needed them. I'm very Germanic, so if you give me a process, I'll do that, then I'll do that, then I'll do that, and do that. And luckily, the process seemed to work for me. But there were a couple of occasions where I had some problems with deadlines. As long as you explain things and you get a heads up, and you don't leave it until last minute, it's been great support, you know, so you just need to speak up. Don't be afraid to reach out.
If I can build on to what James said, at the time of counseling, we build value on how important it is for you to submit your application on time, get your offer letter on time, solely because of what James Palmer has mentioned a while ago, to have access to your Blackboard, for you to be able to do the pre-MBA course. And hearing it from you now, 2 years after, James, really inspires, I think, all program counselors who are present here. What's the value that we bring at the time when we're counseling them? Because it's more for them than it is for us as counselors. We wanted to make sure we are able to inspire people who are ready for the program, not just getting them in the program, but making sure they're equipped. And thanks for highlighting that, James.
Thank you. Mohamed, we have the same question for you, Mohamed. How did you manage your studies? How's the support? I mean, was it an issue, of course, working and studying at the same time? Of course, family thing as well. How did you manage that, Mohamed?
It's a challenge, of course. It's definitely that everyone having the same issue. At the end of the day, that you have 24 hours per day that you need to manage, and you need to host all your activities within. As my esteemed colleagues in the panel that mentioned, that everyone is trying to do his best. Definitely by human nature that you are passionate towards some subjects more than other subjects. I believe that make it easy for yourself, make it bits and pieces that you can chew every day a little bit. Myself, I start to study. I'm not saying study, reading every day an hour or so, and at the end of the week, like the weekend, I start my day like early morning at 8 or 9 a.m. I start studying up to 1 or 2 p.m. I think that was working perfectly with my schedule. I'm not sure everyone has his own way. Sometimes some people they like to turn off everything on weekend and shut down all activities. They want just to spend some time with their families. Definitely, it depends on your schedule. But I would second my colleagues that don't keep everything to the last minute, because you will not be able to achieve anything, and you feel that it's literally is becoming a nightmare, and instead of being an enjoyable and entertaining program. So this is my advice. And I would like to second Hiba as well, that the team, honestly speaking, very supportive. Myself, I never reach out to anyone in the team, starting from Hiba and Amna, Priyanka, Jason, and I believe the president, the CEO of Middle East, Madam Randa Siso. I think all of them, they are very supportive and they are very passionate to push you forward to complete your study. If you start, make sure that you complete your study in 24 months or 18 months or whatever program you want. If you start cutting out the your studies, your commitment will be less. Your passion towards the MBA in general will be less, and you will feel that it's something that it's not achievable. This is all false. Don't put walls in front of your face. Don't put any blockbusters in your face. Just put yourself in action and just do it. And you're gonna be one day in our place here in the panel and advising other people to start their MBA journey.
Excellent. Thank you, Mohammed. Great words. Rami, Mohammed mentioned about challenges. What are the normal challenges a candidate is facing when they're about to do the MBA, or I would say the apprehensions before you do the MBA? What are the normal things based on your experience, and what do you advise them?
We hear different concerns. It can be in the realm of time management. Like, is this something that I can fit in with my regular routine? It can be in the realm of finances. Is this something that I can manage because I have a family to look after? I have this much budget. But we always boil down into one. What is their motivation? How important is this for them? And that's exactly why at the time of counseling, we really spend the time to understand why is this important for them. And we always tie it up with that. If their issue is time management, how much time have you been thinking? How long have you been thinking of doing an MBA degree? It took them 5 years, 10 years. So will you delay it for another 5 years? As they rightfully said, we all have different reasons why we want to pursue this. So if we understand why is it important for them, then we tie up the issue and we always come up with a solution.
Oh, perfect. So if you need some help with that, of course, the team will be counseling you. When you inquire about the MBA, we're going to be here to help to support you out, like what Remy said. Thank you for that, Remy. Third question, what was a significant experience that made you realize you made the right decision? I'll start with Jamaica.
Well, the biggest change for me was the personality. So like I said in the beginning, the confidence that I gained out of doing the MBA was itself and like a proof that I have achieved what I wanted to do. Because prior to coming to the MBA, I would be very nervous to do presentations. My hands would start sweating. I would not be able to talk or not able to, I would speak, but it would be like just a blank. Okay, I've spoken what I've, memorized. But here, I think you're more or less forced to come out of your shell because you are in a workshop, you are given assignments, which are group assignments. You have to work with people who you don't know that very well. Yes, you build connection, but you still don't know them at a personal level. And you have like 2 days, maybe sometimes less than 12 hours to come up with an assignment, do the presentation, do the work. So that itself, changed my whole thinking, made me comfortable. Okay, I know. And you're with the peers, the people that you're working with, they're also, you work with various levels, right? Right from mid-management to somebody who's a C-level person. So okay, I'm comfortable enough to stand there and present. I can also do this back at work. I've done it here, now why not go back and apply the same thing? So for me, that was the biggest change that I noticed in itself. I think I made the right decision.
All right, that's good. James?
Yeah, so I guess for me, throughout the course, I gained in general confidence that I actually had more to offer than just IT. So I come from an IT background, IT directorship, but actually I had a lot of skills and I was improving those skills outside of IT for more general management. And that was one of the biggest things I got out of it. And I would say it wasn't really until I started doing some of the electives that I started doing more self-reflection, which I think is a really invaluable tool set that you'll hopefully develop during the MBA, where you could actually take some of the things you've done in the past and you can see how the theory would have changed the outcome. And that was really powerful for me, was actually to see that, okay, if I had this knowledge 10 years ago, I'd have had much better business results. So I knew automatically from that, it validated that I should have done it 10 years ago, but it was also proving to me that the value was there. So, you know, and the best one was in negotiation, where you actually, during the assignment, you look at an instance of what you've done in negotiation historically, and you apply the frameworks of negotiation techniques that you learn, and you reflect on that. And you can start to see that although you had a good outcome in a negotiation, God, you left a lot on the table, and maybe you didn't get the best value for your organization. And that was really, really inspirational for me just to see that.
We've been mentioning about connection when Meghna mentioned that network with Mohammed earlier. I want to talk to you about that, Hiba. In your opinion, how valuable is the alumni network to you, both personally and professionally?
Well, for students and alumni, from day one that they join the program, the MBA program, they're considered alumni of the university. And that means you're part of 60,000 alumni of Alliance Manchester Business School, and part of the 500,000 or 500,000 alumni globally. So alumni networking is something which is essential for every individual in the program, because this is how you build your network. This is how you build relations. From day one, the relationships that you form within the classroom, this starts your network. And then the events that you attend, the workshops, traveling to other centers, all this is going to enrich your network. You're going to be learning alongside with people who come from different nationalities, different backgrounds, different industries, who have valuable knowledge. Sharing and exchanging knowledge with these people is going to add so much value to you as a person, to your learning, to your career. We will provide you as a university, the alumni relations will provide you with so many opportunities to network, to connect with people across different levels. We hold events now virtually, so you can connect with other alumni and other centers. We will present you with so many alumni panels, alumni speaker events. So networking is valuable for you. I think it's more of every student and alumni responsibility to take ownership. Should I come and network? Should I speak to the person sitting next to me? And the more you do that, the more it's valuable for you. You will be presented with so many opportunities. We provide you with networking events, alumni networking events, purely networking events, industry networking events. So you will have a great exposure. It's going to enrich your value, that is going to enrich your experience and knowledge. And even if you're looking for opportunities across the world, we will help you facilitate and make introductions. If you're looking to do a project in Singapore, we can reach out to our colleagues in Singapore and say, hey, we have someone who wants to speak to alumni. If you want to go to Manchester, we can also do that. I mean, you have a wide network, and the more you connect with people, the more you reach out, the more you're part of this network, and it's going to be more active and valuable for you. So the alumni network will be there, the opportunities will be there, and it will be your own responsibility to take ownership of that and to start networking. And actually networking starts from today. You speak to the person next to you, you get to know him, you get to learn more about what you're doing, and that's how you start networking.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Hiba. Mohammed, I want to continue what Hiba is saying. How valuable the network then, especially in Saudi Arabia? How valuable the network is?
It's very valuable. I believe that it's a great to meet and get connected with the new people every day. It's something that might be in my DNA, that I like to travel a lot. I like to meet people a lot. I like to introduce myself and get introduced to different cultures. I think that fits perfectly on the picture that Hiba just drew. That myself, I went to Manchester, I went to Shanghai, Hong Kong, Dubai, of course, and Kuala Lumpur. I think it was an amazing experience, that meeting a lot of people around the globe. I just missed Brazil, which it's supposed to be in the 2019, but I'm sorry, it's supposed to be in 2020, but unfortunately when COVID came into place, or took a place, that it got canceled. So I'm looking forward, honestly speaking, to visit Brazil through Manchester University, or University of Manchester. I'm still connected with my friends. They are across the world now, and exchanging a lot of different cultural jokes. We are having a great time through WhatsApp groups, and it was great because I met people. They are working in different industries. They are working in different verticals. Some of them in oil and gas, some of them in manufacturers, some of them in sales and technology, service providers, you name it. And these kind of experience, when you do the workshop, it's very interesting, because you're gonna meet almost 5 people in your group, and these 5 people, every one of these, each member in the group, basically, he is a manager or a leader of a different group, and you need to make some, emotional intelligence to understand and adapt with this group for the coming 3 days, because there is a deadline and there is a workshop that you need to deliver. So from this basic experience, it's not part of the cohort. Nobody will teach you this. Nobody will tell you about this. But at the end of the program, or at the end of the subject, you're gonna find either you make friends, or you didn't like it because you are not attached, or sometimes you're gonna feel that you are left behind because you are not working with the team. So one of the let me say soft skills that you're gonna develop within the course, that you're gonna learn how to adapt with this group of people, and make sure that you have a spot there, and there is a piece that you need to contribute to deliver the subject or the homework. So basically, you're gonna find a lot of benefits and a lot of pros that from the program. And I advise everyone, and I'm so passionate about University of Manchester, of course, because I really learned a lot, and I had a lot of friends, and open up my horizon to a lot of stuff. And one of the very small things happened to me, that after I finished or cleared my MBA studies, I immediately opened a new business or small business, that I got into entrepreneurship, because I want to practice, and I want to make sure that I don't just took a piece of paper like MBA, because it's a very expensive piece of paper if you want it as a paper in your drawer or in your shelf. I just took it, and I made sure that I want to put all the things that I learned into an action. And when I opened until today, I opened the books and I start reading on different models, different stuff on HR, operation management, on finance, accounting, you name it. I just kept all my notes available here, and I get back to it every now and then.
Thank you, Mohammed, and congratulations. Sorry, Hiba.
Just going back to the networks, I want to tell those who are joining us from different countries that alumni relations is not only for those who join us here in Dubai. So we have formed alumni groups in most of the Middle East and GCC regions for alumni to network and to connect with one another. So if you are in Qatar, in Kuwait, in Saudi, in Bahrain, you will have active alumni groups who meet regularly just to network, to support one another, to guide one another. So our alumni network is very active, not only here, but also across the region. So if you are in any country and you would like to speak to one of our alumni there, we'd be happy to support you and to connect you.
I want to highlight of that more later, Hiba, when we talk about the change part. But yeah, that concludes our round 2. All right, do you have any questions here on our venue? Anyone? Questions for them at this topic? Sorry, sure.
Actually, I want to ask what would be the difference if he didn't take the MBA and started his own business? And what MBA benefit?
Which one do you want to ask?
لأنه ضعيف صار.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, no problem. Come on, curious?
I'm sorry, tell me.
Yes.
The question is, how the MBA benefited you in starting your own business, and how it could be different if you didn't do the MBA and you started maybe, and you did some self-studies, you did online search, and you started your business. How the MBA made this difference?
You got that?
Yes, I did. Yes, thank you. It made a lot of difference because first thing that it will give you kind of a framework that you don't open your business because just you want to open your business, or you have some money that you want to invest and just you put it there and it will work. It doesn't work like this. There is a lot of framework. There is a lot of a prerequisite that you need to be aware of before you start your own business. Maybe myself, I start a business before and it really failed miserably because I was just, doing it, going with the flow and trying to seize the opportunity in the market, some entrepreneurship talk. But when you get it from a really practitioners on business, and when I got into a call in Dubai or Manchester or any of the cohorts that is there or the centers, I spend a lot of time with the professor and the doctor. I'm just getting connected with him because I want to understand what he have seen around the globe, because mashallah, he's been into a lot of centers. He did a lot of businesses and he has a huge experience in the business field. And I start to stimulate the idea. I talk to my colleagues, I talk to my instructors, tutors, that I'm having this idea. What about this idea? And there is some subjects, I put the idea, I sell it to the group and we start working on the idea without disclosing the name. So I was building the whole story and I'm having like a lot of consultants are working on my idea without them knowing. But it's very enjoyable because whenever you are really convinced about an idea, sometimes you get a little bit blind. You don't want to see flaws in your strategy or your plan, business plan. When you get into with people, they don't have any intimacy to you towards the business that you want to open. They will just criticize it in a way that will let you think. You said, okay, maybe this is not the right idea for now. Maybe this is not the idea. It makes sense. Maybe there is a lot of adjustment that I need to do, so on and so forth. Just be courageous about facing this truth that when people, they challenge you, just accept it, understand it, embrace it. Maybe you can sit with yourself and rehearse the idea again and again and again. I'm a big believer, if you want to open a business, if you can't pitch the idea in 60 seconds, you have a major problem in the idea or major problem in the business. So this is what I try to do, that during the journey, it really sharpened my skills. It really sharpened my thoughts. And until today, I'm consulting my esteemed colleagues from the cohort. Some people that are very experts in HR, they are experts in finance, they are experts on technology. I just pick up the phone, hey, how are you, how's things? and I'm having this and that. What do you think? I'm just, I'm stimulating ideas with people that I trust and that I really know that they don't have any, they'll just say it in complete truth. This is what we think.
Thank you, Mohammed. That answers this question. Thank you. Brandon, that's right. Good. All right. Let's go to a round. Next round. You have a question there. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, we have a question. So there are a couple of questions. I'll just give it to the panel, and like Remy, if you can talk a bit about the demographics of the cohort in UAE, about their average age group, the experience they come from, the industry they belong to. That's been asked by one of the audience online. And Hiba, if you can spend some more time talking about what kind of employer partnerships we have in UAE, probably that will be addressed to Muhammad Afzal, and maybe the two alums can talk about, because I heard Muhammad has already given an insight on it, but did this MBA enabled you to apply your learnings while you were working? So if you can just throw that light. So yeah, these are a couple of questions I just.
Let's maybe go with you, Raj.
Brilliant. Go ahead.
Average age group in the last two cohorts we had is 38. We will only take someone with at least 3 years of competitive work experience. So a fresh graduate will not be admissible in the program. We have applicants ranges from the age of 25, 26 up to 60. Coming from different industries. We have people coming from engineering, IT background, finance. So we have diverse backgrounds, and at the same time nationalities. We have 100 plus different nationalities enrolled in the MBA.
Very good. Hiba?
We work with a lot of corporates, and we have partnerships with some of these corporates. And the way that we work with them is kind of unique in the sense that once we have a partnership with a corporate, the likes of GM, GE, Dell, and some prominent banks, they would have access to our talent. So they would recruit from the talent pool of the MBA. They would have academic exchange. So there will be certain things that would help with the employability of our students and alumni in that sense. So in the region, we do have partnerships with major international companies, as well as major banks, as well as financial institutions in the region that we work closely with. But in addition to our partnerships, we also have corporate relations and corporate partnerships in the region that we work closely with. So MBA students will get access to all these private events with these corporates. We have partners that you would also get access to their events. You will have access to industry speakers who come from specific corporates to learn more. So let's say if you're coming from oil and gas and you would like to learn more about the banking sector, you would be exposed to speaker events where we would host people from these sectors. So getting exposure to corporates comes in a different pathways within the university. So it would be through industry speaker events, guest speaker events, access to, I would say, exclusive events with our partners and corporates. It would be also through the corporates that we partner with in a specific talent partnership program. So there are different ways that we work with corporates and partners in the region, and students in the MBA program would be able to benefit from all that once they join.
All right, thank you. Quickly, I'm sorry, what's the question to?
Dalia is online and she is keen to know that does studying MBA while working enables you to apply what you are learning in the business you are working? So if you want to.
Opinion with that?
So it definitely does. So for me, particular modules actually added a lot of value. So the negotiation skills module, you hear everybody talk about it. But that is one module that really gives you immediate skills that you can use for any kind of negotiations, be it something that you're doing with the vendor, be it for your salary negotiations with your HR or with your management. So that one, like elective, definitely immense value from it. Then also, since I was into strategy, I picked a lot of electives that was strategy, the strategic project management or the advanced strategic management. So the frameworks that I got out of these were quite immediate that I could apply to my work almost immediately. So it gave me kind of a tool or a structure that I could use. And also the entrepreneurship and the innovation module gives you, let's say, allows you to think a bit differently, a bit out of the box. So for me, almost immediately, and like I said, my management was quite interested as well. So as soon as I went back, I would try and apply to whatever project I was doing at that point of time. So very transferable skills.
Thank you. James?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of came to light that everything you're doing as a business application, you will be doing a business inquiry project, and you'll be doing that with a real life company. And for our business inquiry project, you know, there were 5 of us, we worked quite hard on it. But everything that we came up with, we basically came up with a digital marketing strategy for them, an analysis of their current existing markets as well. I can't go into detail, obviously, for confidentiality. But they took it all on, and what's more is they said, well, we've paid a lot of consultants a lot of money to do this, because you know, you cost us 0, and the consultants had quite a few more zeros and a few numbers before it to get the same kind of detail and insight into their industry. So practically, we looked at a fully integrated approach there, and you can apply it to any business.
Great, thank you. So yes, we're conscious of time. We're going to go through a last round of question. Ankita, just go to that slide, please. So we talk about journey. Now we talk about change. What happened after? We want to focus on that. We want to ask our guests here one question. And let me ask you first, Meghna, what were your career objectives before the MBA, and have these changed or are they being realized?
So before the MBA, like I always work on 5 plans personally. So for me, before the MBA, I had imagined myself to be around this time at a mid-management position, whichever company I was working for. Having done the MBA, and I have to keep saying the support of my management was key to that. I am now at a senior management position already. So for me, in terms of career progression, it accelerated it a bit, and not a bit, quite a few years ahead of what I had planned. And this is something that, well, you can't quantify it. So it's more value add, more. It's more of the confidence that I gained out of the network that allowed me to, keep going back to the management, saying I'm ready to take on more. I'm ready, willing to try something different, not only what is in my comfort zone. And that's how it's helped me quite a bit.
Okay, thank you. Mohammed, same question. What were your career objectives before the MBA, and have these changed or are they being realized? Yeah. Mohammed, you're on mute, I think.
I think this is the famous sentence for the year. You are on mute. Now, yeah, I had the clear direction, and I had the clear goals to my career because I'm wearing 2 hats. I'm doing some entrepreneurship stuff, and I'm working in Cisco as a regional sales manager now. I wouldn't hide it from you guys. Cisco is a big sales machine. There is a lot of pressure, a lot of numbers that you need to get every week, every month, every quarter, and every year. So it's an endless loop. As well as that you are having your kind of side businesses to work on and make sure that everything is going in the right direction. My objective from the MBA, I just want to make sure that I'm enhancing my capabilities, I'm sharpening myself with knowledge, and at the end, I'm expanding my network to some people that I would never meet except in such a program.
All right, thank you, Mohammed. James, same question.
Yeah, kind of a similar answer. Going into it, I wanted to be more marketable outside of just IT, and that's happened. There's no doubt about that. I think that more fundamentally now, it's making me think about starting up my own initiative. not being employed by somebody else anymore, and really working for yourself and for your own benefit, either purely for yourself or with somebody else. So I've got all of the network side done already. So it's changed my perspective. So it's even taken me further than I thought it would be.
Thank you, thank you. Hiba, we want to understand more before we conclude the night about the in terms of careers and the things that you have done so far, the highlights, I would say, of careers. If you could share to us mostly about that.
Right.
And of course, if there's any invite coming in, for some events you're having, please, the floor is yours.
Well, the careers and alumni relations are very busy. We hold several events. So from day one, you join the MBA program, you will have access to the postgraduate career service. And the first thing we do is try to understand, like I said, where are you now in your career? Where are you heading, or where do you wish to head, and how to do it? So we try to map out your career goals to understand from the beginning how to help you realize these goals. So the career service will offer three distinct things. So first thing, we will expose you to employability sessions. And in these sessions, you will get the basics, like how to write a CV, how to write a cover letter, how to do an interview, how to make yourself more employable, how to do a LinkedIn, a proper LinkedIn where you get more views. So we will have sessions around all these topics that would make you more employable and more marketable. We will also work on your personal and professional development. So you will have access to sessions on time management to help you, manage your time, your studies, your work, your family. You will have access to personal brand to identify your unique value proposition and how you can promote yourself to your next employer. So we focus on your career. We put your career at the heart of the MBA, simple words. And we try to give you access to sessions that are going to build your knowledge, build your skills. So the MBA will equip you with the business knowledge and the business acumen. You will have the understanding of how business strategy works, how operations, how marketing, how finance work together. But in addition to the business knowledge, you will get access to how do I transform myself in order to become more employable. This is done through the employability sessions, the personal and development sessions. We work on your personal brand. We help you identify it. We help you bring it out through the sessions that we offer. There are so many things that we try to work on one-to-one level with you. So we have individual career coaching sessions that you can sign up for with the career consultants. We have specialized career consultants in the Middle East, and also if you travel to Manchester to attend your workshops, you would be able to meet with them. So these can help you to kind of personalize your career journey and understand where you are now, where you want to be, what are the things that you need to work on. In addition to the one-to-one coaching sessions and the personal and professional development, one thing we focus on is to expose you to industry speaker events. So even if you're coming, let's say, from the healthcare or the engineering industry, once you finish the MBA, we want to make sure that you got exposed to different industries to learn the insights about what is finance, what is marketing, what is a digital transformation, what is construction, what is happening in education, what is happening in engineering. So we bring in industry speakers, guest speakers from different industries to give you the knowledge, the insights that you need to learn. Therefore, your knowledge is kind of complemented. You understand what's happening in the business world. So from day one and throughout your MBA journey, you will be very busy attending events, attending workshops, and all our sessions are interactive. You will have workshops, you will have webinars, you will have one-to-one sessions, so you kind of tailor and choose with what works with you. We understand that you're all working professionals, and sometimes finding time to work on your personal journey is kind of pressing for you, but it's only 2 years and you have to make the best out of it. We will give you access to everything. We'll give you access to career opportunities. We hold major career events. We hold the famous career networking event, which in other terms, people call it career fair. You will have access to different employers where you get to learn from them what they look for in candidates, what are they, the positions that they're hiring for. You will have industry speaker events where you meet corporates and network with them. You will get exposure to different industry speaker events, exclusive events throughout the career service, in addition to the personalized one-to-one events. In addition to that, you will have access to alumni panels. And we bring in our senior alumni who come from different backgrounds. They kind of help you understand their journey and how they made it there. They kind of give you insights about their industries, their professions, and what they're doing. And they're going to help you in your own journey. If you reach out to them, they share with you the same value, they share with you the same education. So it's much easier to connect with them and to learn from them. There are different avenues that you can learn and advance or accelerate your career. We will provide you with all the tools. We will provide you with the skills needed, with the sessions needed to improve your skills. And it's going to be a very busy 2 years for you. So I would say just take in the leap, and if you have any questions, we're here to.
Thank you, Iba. And like what she said earlier, you'll never be alone in this journey, and we're going to be with you every step of the way. Yeah, Remy, any advice to our aspiring applicants in doing the MBA?
You have to act on it now. That will always be my words of encouragement to any student I speak to over the phone. I remember having this conversation, and I always encourage the entire team who's counseling students. If we are not the right fit for you, there will be another university out there. It can be because of finances, it can be of several reasons. But what's important is that you realize your goals. You start working on achieving that goals. And if there's one line that my recent student told me, and is very grateful about their experience, it's the self-actualization. He realized that joining an MBA program, you don't get the return on investment at the time of graduation. Even at the time when they join, their confidence level has accelerated significantly. And I hope we get to hear that from all of them.
Thank you, Remy. James, any parting words, advice to our aspiring candidates?
Yes, I'm not going to excel on the MBA, but I'm going to give you some advice, practical advice. I think Hannah talked about it. Treat it like an elephant sandwich. There's only one way to eat an elephant sandwich. You have to slice it up into lots of small sandwiches and eat one of those every day. Yeah, if you do that, you'll be fine.
Thank you, James. Meghna?
Similar. The moment you decide to do it, that's it. Like, give your 2 years to it. Don't take a break in between, because once you stop, to get back into the routine is very, very difficult. So when you decide, take it, dedicate your time, schedule your days, right? From the beginning itself, start scheduling. Okay, this many hours a day I want to, dedicate to the MBA, maybe over the weekend, this much of time. So that really helps you know what you're in for. It helps people around you know what you're doing. So, even the family is aware, okay, this time is the study time. So there's not going to be something else, some other activity that comes in. So the day you decide, dedicate the time, give it 2 years. It is hard work, it is commitment, but once you do it, you'll be proud of yourself, right? You take that box on your agenda.
Thank you, Meghna. Mohamed, parting word, my friend. Any advice to our aspiring candidates for the MBA program?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you all for making the time today. I'm sure that if you made it for the auditorium or you made it for the this Zoom session, that you are halfway through the decision. So maybe our panelists today, just they wanted to share the experience, they want to share the challenges, they want to give you that definitely it's not a path with roses. You will come in some days that you will say, I don't know what I did to myself, why I'm putting myself into this such situations. But believe me that from an experience, it will be the best decision that you have made to yourself, and it will be the investment that it's worth. So I highly urge you that register today while you are having this passion and commitment, and make sure that after 2 years that you're gonna find that I have an MBA I'm a better version of myself, and wish you all the best. All.
Thank you. Thank you. A round of applause to our guests, everyone. Thanks. Thanks, of course, Smith, Remy, and Mohamed. Before we end the night, can I call my colleague William? William, this is a few announcements before we conclude the night.
Absolutely, yeah, because this is a very important year for all of us here at the University of Manchester, especially the Middle East Centre. It is our 15th year anniversary, so we've been here for 15 years. Can you imagine? It's been quite a journey for all of the team here. And of course, in this 15th year, I don't know if many of you know, but the University of Manchester has actually been ranked first worldwide with regards to the impact ranking of the Times Higher Education. And the reason for that is because we actually put a lot of time, effort, and involve ourselves in a lot of social responsibility activities, and we actually try and pursue and achieve the sort of 17 development goals, sustainable development goals that the UN has put into place, and that ranking is based on these UN social development goals. So the universities really put a lot of time and effort into that, because obviously the social sustainable development goals are put into place because there's a lot of challenges that we as humanity and the natural world are facing. So we are pressed to make a difference and an impact there. So for that particular reason, this year, the 15th year, we've tried to put 15 different initiatives in place as part of the University of Manchester Middle East Centre. And you can find more details on our website at manchester.ac.uk/social responsibility SR. And one of these very initiatives is actually a doctor school with Dubai Cares. So Dubai Cares is actually an international sort of charity organization that was set up by His Highness, the Sheikh of Dubai and ruler of Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed. And basically with them, we were looking to create a school in Nepal, to build one. And with the help of everyone, obviously, we'd really like to achieve that by the end of the year. So our goal is to build a school which will have 3 classrooms, which will have about 90 students in Nepal as well. So we're about a third of the way in terms of the amount needed to build this particular school in Nepal. So any sort of contribution or donation, sharing the word with your communities as well would be really helpful to all of us here at the university, and we'd really look forward to your participation and to build that school to really sort of make a difference in the world as well. So there are certain pamphlets and leaflets on your chair if you'd like to look at it. There's a QR code there that will bring you to the Dubai Cares page as well if you'd like to look at it and learn a bit more about it. But we have a little short video, I believe, Ankita, if I'm not mistaken, if you can try and play it. So yeah, that's the initiative, and obviously I did talk about Dubai Cares. They're actually involved in many different initiatives around the world, not just here in the UAE, worldwide. And for us, this is extremely important. We've been involved with Dubai Cares for quite some time now, and it's just something that we're really passionate about. So obviously, if you'd like to learn more about this, on our website, on the Dubai Cares website as well, you can learn more about all these initiatives that we are conducting this year, and do keep as well. So anything happening, events regarding obviously social responsibility, but as well in regards to programs and everything that we do here in the region and further abroad as well. So with that being said, I think we'll conclude here.
Yes.
Joseph.
All right, thank you, William. Again, once again, to all our tuning in right now on our Zoom platform, thank you very much for coming. All of you people here right now, thank you so much for coming in. I want you all to give yourself a round of applause for making this happen. Thank you very much. Our guests, panelists, have a great night ahead of you all, and stay safe. Thank you. We'll see you around.
I'd like to just quickly add on to that. If you have any further questions, first and foremost, you can get in touch with the team here at Manchester. Myself, my colleagues, Remy, Hiba, of course, Joseph, and the others, we're more than happy to sort of answer your questions and take us further if need be. If you have any questions for some of our alumni, for some of our students as well. I'm sure that they'd be happy to answer some of these for you as well. We actually connect, obviously, people. That's our goal here as well. So if you need to be connected to a student and alumni that's in a related field, industry, and or particular country as well, we're more than happy to do that for you as well. So please feel free. I know that we may not have been able to go through all the questions, and that's why I'm saying that. Just feel free to get in touch with us and we can make sure to connect you with the right people as well. So with that being said, have a very good evening and thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate it. Stay safe and take care.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.